In the summer of 1914, one gunshot in Sarajevo set the world on fire. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria was assassinated, and within weeks, Europe's fragile balance of power collapsed. What should have been a regional crisis exploded into a global war. On one side stood the Allies, Britain, France, Russia, and later Italy and the United States. On the other, the Central Powers, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. Soon, millions of young men marched to the front, believing the war would be over by Christmas. They were terribly wrong. The Western Front froze into miles of trenches, where soldiers lived among mud, rats, and constant shelling. Machine guns cut down thousands in minutes, while poison gas burned lungs and blinded eyes. Battles like Verdun and the Somme turned entire landscapes into wastelands, costing millions of lives for just a few miles of ground. Meanwhile, new fronts opened in Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. The war wasn't just fought with guns, it shook entire societies. In Russia, the chaos fueled the Bolshevik Revolution, changing the course of history forever. By 1917, the United States entered the war, sending fresh troops and resources. Germany, exhausted by blockades and internal unrest, launched one last desperate offensive in 1918. It failed. One by one, the Central Powers collapsed. On November 11, 1918, silence finally fell. The Great War had killed over 16 million people and left empires in ruins. The Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, German, and Russian empires were all gone. But peace was fragile. The harsh Treaty of Versailles planted seeds of anger and revenge, seeds that would grow into World War II. World War I was supposed to be the war to end all wars. Instead, it became the beginning of the bloodiest century in human history.